I'd just like to present my topic for today is recognizing all of our ancestors, and which I'd like to talk about also in existence of angel, and also relationship between angel and our ancestors. And I would like to also show one videotape that is I don't know if you were able to recognize that, if you were able to see it in the past, about fantastic. And I don't know if you've seen it, this video, number one, that is the Fukushima, tidal wave after the earthquake. Gobbling over the city of Fukushima back in, that was several years ago now. There's a long stretch of the tidal wave, just gobbling entire city, and just the wave was coming, and it was just a really, things that I've never seen it before. If I could able to pull up the video on YouTube to see if, I'd like everybody to take a look at it. In relation to something to do with the angel, that I'd like to talk about that. Here we go. If you can track in some angels, take a look at this video. I've seen it before as if nothing, fine, pretty scary, devastating video. But if you look carefully, something's on there. Take a look at the circles that they're going to make it. The video will show you a circle around objects. The little teeny up right there. See those objects right there? Moving faster than a bird. They're going in and out of the water constantly. Another one. Very fast. Irregularly moving into it, water, and out, in and out of it. So it's moving, right? The white dots are moving around. Stop and move. Then another very fast. Another one. 3 of them. Thank you very much. That's probably good enough to show everyone there. Those are not the birds, by the way. They are the white object moving in and out of water. Very fast speed, irregularly moving. In this devastated situation where nobody can survive, God sent angels, I believe, to protect and save some of the people who are swept by the water. Angels are really, really well. Can I have the, someone has where's the PowerPoint? Oh, sorry, thank you very much, thank you. Great, thank you. Thank you very much, thank you. Okay, great. So, talking about the angels, the Bible says, if you take a look in Genesis 1:28, be fruitful, multiply, and subdue all entire creations. Angels are the part of creation. I just want you to really, once again, the relationship of angel and us. We are the Lord of creation. Angels are the part of creation. So we are supposed to subdue over the whole entire creation. Is that in an ideal sense, we are the Lord over angel. Angel are here to helping us, supporting us. They brought the messenger, helping Paul out of a jail. God sent an angel to save Paul out of a jail. Or the Bible says in 1 Corinthians 6:9 by the Paul says, do you not know that we will judge the angel? How much more the things of this life? Yes, so angels are obviously really they're here to help us. Here it is. There was a big incident that happened on the highway. The car trembling around 4 times. Meanwhile, the pastor looking at that the SUV, flipping over 4 times, and he prayed to God, please, whoever is in the car, save that person. Immediately, here it is. You see, it's a sort of like they're circling around it. There's a sort of like white being around right here. Is actually as he flew out of the car, ejected out of the car, and somehow, no way it's impossible that somebody can survive out of that disaster, nasty accident. However, he was survived out of that accident. It is because he says, and the people who eyewitnessed it was a work of angel. There are many incidents like that. This is just one of hundreds of testimonies that angel actually saved many people's lives as a serving. We as a supposedly Lord of creation, they are there to hear for you. Angels are God's messengers in spirit army. That the angel are specialized in different fields. According to angel seminar, I don't know some people have attended angel seminar. And Mrs. Doherty talked about angels are specialized in different fields: medical, finance, and social. I mean, they're experts in different fields. It is just like when we are sick. When you and I are sick, I call doctor. Same way, if I'm sick, then I call angel, or asking angel, please help me and help you. If you're in a financial problem, then call an angel. One of the experts in the finance will come and help you. They're like experts in a different field. They have perhaps, kind of jokingly, but on office, call them, they come. They do the job because relationship with the master and the servant, right? Or they're here to try to help you. And once they get that, they did their job, complete their mission, they go back. You know. The same way, but what about our ancestors? They're different. How different? Well, recently, about 1 week ago, in Korea, we had a major Thanksgiving. It's a Chuseok. Chuseok is a day that everybody, it's a beautiful ritual honoring their ancestors. Whole clan gathered in front of beautiful offerings and honor their ancestor. Not just in Korea too, but also Japan. Japan was in the middle of mid-August. We honor our ancestor. We show our respect, remembering them by cleaning their graveyard. I used to do that too. Clean up the tombstone and pull out the grass, taking care of the property, ancestral graveyard. My grandfather, my father, we have this plot in Japan. And my mom told me if I die, I'm going you're going right here. Anyway, honoring your ancestor. Even talk about the Black Panther. Why Black Panther became so popular? It is because movie talked about past, present, and the future. Black Panther as a main character, relationship with his father in the spirit world, communication, conversation, so real. Bringing the beauty of the relationship. We are intriguingly, we are always, all the time, living a life with our ancestors. We are the product, the connection with our ancestors. It's inseparable. We act, think, behave as if I'm just by myself. I'm alone. However, that's not real. You are, each one of us are the result of our ancestors. Here it is, even China. China perhaps representing the majority of our population. Back in the mid-17th century, Jesuits, sent by the Roman Catholic Church, they were there to evangelize in China First, they were able to walk in and out of the forbidden city. I mean, people are not allowed to walk into that, especially foreigners were not allowed to walk into the forbidden city. However, Jesuits are walking in and out of forbidden city, meeting with the emperor constantly. It is because of their knowledge of astronomy and also mechanics, science and technology of that time, in the mid-16th, 17th century. Also, not only that, but Jesuits, their great respect toward the Confucian tradition or Chinese culture, including the ritual of honoring the family ancestors. However, I mean, they're well adapted. There are, take a look at the photo, this is a drawing of the Jesuits walk into the Chinese palace, dressed up like a Confucian elite or teacher. They dress up like a Confucian teacher. Even they dress up trying to adapt into the Chinese culture to witness to emperor and some of the high-class elites of Confucian teachers, you know, in the palace. Because of it, many people became they gained a lot of converts in the palace. They were about to expand these teachings, Christianity, throughout the China. However, Pope decided, we can't really, we cannot adapt the culture of China. It is because, first of all, they are worshiping our systems. The Jesuits are trying to explain to the Pope, no, it is just a secular culture that they're trying to honor their ancestors, not worshiping them. Oh no, they're worshiping our ancestors, therefore we cannot adapt the culture of China. Or this Confucianism, it's a religion. So they banned the idea of worshiping ancestors, and they have to leave. Or the missionary have to leave. If the China adapted well into it, or if Christianity adapted the Chinese culture into their Christian culture, and what sort of time we're living today? Would have been a very different sort of Christianity we are eyewitness today. Especially the majority of Asian people, including Korea, has well adapted Christianity and a concept of ritual of honoring ancestors. It's a beautifully blend into the both culture of Chinese culture, Asian culture, or Asiatic culture and philosophy and Christianity. Then what about this, which I like to talk about, it, intergenerational transmission of criminal and violent behavior. This is a very serious issue. Many times we or people figure perhaps maybe it is something to do with intergenerational. Somebody commit a crime, perhaps tracing back their grandparents or parents to understand the criminal behavior. Many scientists have done research, perhaps conclude that mostly it is a socio-economic factor is heavily involved with it, of the reason because of the intergenerational transmission of criminal violence behavior. However, that may be also. However, what about the biological DNA? Or perhaps some spiritual factors involved. So that's why there's a book like Remembering It. Remembering the violence. Even though you and I never commit the violence. You and I never commit to certain crimes. But however, somehow my soul remembers. Somehow I remember. Somehow I feel. I don't know if you ever experienced that before. It was not you. However, you remember. Remembrance of the violence from the past. You feel fear of it. You know? I know I can just share with you a story about a lady. You know, if you heard about the Chongpyeong. Chongpyeong is a place where people who want to heal physically, spiritually, who want to really walk on the journey of happiness, who really want to deal with some of this situation, bring about reconciliation in your life, some struggles in a relationship, or just to simply, I just want to become healthy. Then people chose to go to Chongpyeong. I myself, personally, regular attendees of Chongpyeong seminars in the past. And I understand it. And I heard a testimony from one lady. She had the issue of diabetic. She's been suffering with diabetes for so long. About to losing her eyesight, about to amputating one of her legs, she decided to go to Chongpyeong as a final destination or final option. Travel to Chongpyeong, attending a seminar. There she had a dream. A man took her hand to a cave. In a cave, one person killing other man. And she came out of the dream. She knew immediately it was something to do with her ancestor. Whatever her ancestor committed, this violent crime, that she have to deal with it. She repent, she prayed for whatever her ancestor did, asking for forgiveness. And she had another dream. Another dream, this man showed up. Apologetically, she appeared in her dream. He says, I'm very sorry. I am the one causing you with all the sufferings and the problems. At the same time, I'm so glad he said you recognized it, what we did. And I want you to walk the happy life from now on. I'm not causing you any more harm. Thank you very much. He deeply appreciated and expresses deep gratitude towards her. I was at the Chongpyeong there. I had a prayer because, wasn't it because I had my long history of bronchitis. I've been coughing up all the time. Have you seen me coughing always?
No.
Last 12 years, no. Before I came to Philadelphia, I had this chronic disease or problems that I get infected. My bronchitis infected all the time. And I went to the Chongpyeong. There I realized, I felt, this young man suffered in a coal mine. He was dragged or forcefully brought to where he didn't want to go. He was separated forcefully from his family. He came to, I feel like he came to some Hokkaido where I spent some time with my wife's family. This young man perhaps died in a coal mine where he was forced to work in a coal mine for so long, and then eventually he died alone because of his lung disease. He died alone. Nobody recognized him. His family was not there for him. And I says to him, I'm sorry. I want you to be happy. And I know and I recognize that you went through this. And I'm sorry. And I want you to live a happy life. And I can imagine, I feel him, I felt him. He's waving a hand at me and he says to thank you to me. Thank you. And I can go now. I felt like he kind of moved out of my body or somewhat. And my chronic disease stopped. amazingly stopped. No more. I want you to take a look at video number 2, if you may. And it's a movie that probably Robin Williams back in mid-1990s, I guess. I don't have a chance to watch this video, however. Yes, that's called the What Dreams May Come. Just short script.
Private deck.
I never took more than 30% from any client.
This must be the place.
Hang on, watch where you step back.
Oh, sorry.
Out!
Sorry, son. Welcome. Welcome, son. Son. You're close. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. You're not my dad.
It's all right. They never come. Don't worry, it's only a matter of time.
Thank you very much, thank you. I don't know if you listen carefully to each one of the conversations you overheard. They will never come. What is a cure? And some people actually literally went to hell and experienced hell. Actually, they describe this is one of the closest view or experience they had. This. One of the worst possible things that we can experience is there's no more freedom. We don't have any freedom whatsoever. We're chained to something. Our ancestors, they don't have any freedom whatsoever. And they're all waiting for a cure. They're waiting to be liberated. It is real. They were stuck in this sort of, it's not a fire, but the place where they're stuck and cannot move. It is a hell. They don't have any freedom whatsoever. History of the Providence Restoration Life, according to divine principles, says like this: as an individual, each one of us are a product of the history of the Providence Restoration. Hence, that person who is to accomplish the purpose of history is none other than I, myself. I must take up the cross of history and accept the responsibility to fulfill its calling. To this end, I must fulfill in my lifetime, through my effort, that indemnity conditions which have accumulated through the long course of a Providence Restoration. Only by doing this can I stand proudly as a fruit of history, the one whom God has eagerly sought throughout his providence. In other words, I must restore through indemnity during my own generation all the accomplished missions of the past, prophets and saints who were called in their time to carry the cross of restoration. in order for you and I to become victor of today. It is so important for us to recognize where we come from. We are, yes, our ancestors and we are intricately connected together. Inseparable relationship, whether good or bad. Situation we're facing today, everybody has very unique situations. It's something to do with our ancestor history. That is why I said calling. Fulfill its calling. Karen and I had a wonderful conversation at the Cat Coffee Shop. Her expertise and her professions as a nurse, she's doing well out there. Her expertise, profession is working as a nurse. However, she says, beyond that, my own profession, I feel there's a deep inside of me that is a calling. I feel the calling beyond my own profession. I don't think my life will be buried with a professionalism, the profession, my job. It's not. However, there is a deep inside of me that is a calling to fulfill. What is your calling, each one of us? I know some people director of organization. I know some people manager. I know some people are working in your own field. Make sure you are support, feed your family, protect your family, and able to secure our daily lives and able to provide the needs of a community and a society through a profession. Is that our real calling inside of you? If you listen carefully. What we need to do today, as a result, as a person of history, we all connected. Beautiful tree of our ancestors. Flip side of it is that we have wonderful ancestors surrounding us. Reason for you are here today, it is because you are great ancestors. They are faithful, they are married, they are eager to really able to hopefully my descendants will live in a very happy life. That is why what I'm doing today, it is because of my descendants in the future. Thank you to our ancestor. Thank you to me, because of them, we're here, right here, right here, right here with us, right here. We're so grateful for what they have done. And I'd just like to want you to take a look at maybe final video. I'm showing all the videos, but it's sometimes hard to describe my feeling to you of this beautiful ancestors that, yes, thank you very much for Naomi and Sanquan. It's really helping us today, and I really appreciate for their help.
A patient on the brink of death.
He had no heart rate. He had no blood pressure. He had no pulse. I mean, think about that.
Like something scripted in Hollywood, says intensive care unit nurse Emily Bishop.
He was down for close to 45 minutes.
During which time, he claims he traveled beyond this world and back.
Well, he was telling me that he loved me and that he'd seen the light and that he had seen my mom and my dad. And I lost it at that point in time because I just lost my mom.
The week after burying his mother-in-law, Brian Miller returned to work, delivering metal here in Streetsboro.
I was feeling fine. And then when I undid the tarp and pulled the tarp off, I started getting tightness.
Probably the cold air or asthma, he thought, until the intense pain started.
I'm a truck driver, and I think I'm having a heart attack.
Brian was having a massive heart attack. His main artery entirely blocked, known as the Widowmaker.
He was an obvious distress when we found him.
Streetsboro firefighters and paramedics put the hospital on alert.
Had to be real aggressive with our protocols and got to the hospital as soon as we could. It can be life or death.
Dr. William Wolf rushed Brian into surgery here at University Hospital's Aluja Medical Center.
We want to open up the vessel as soon as possible.
Here's the blockage being cleared and blood flow restored.
Man, the pain just started slowly going down.
They told him that he did good by getting here as soon as he did, coming quick.
Not only did Brian survive the heart attack and emergency surgery, he was already up and talking. He was doing fine, until he suddenly wasn't.
I saw it come across the screen. I ran in there.
Brian was experiencing a fatal arrhythmia called VFib, ventricular fibrillation.
Basically, his heart rate goes like this. And it's just this like scribble. And his heart is just kind of like quivering in there. It's not able to pump, it's not doing anything.
Emily called Code Blue.
CPR, CPR, CPR. Strong, hard, fast CPR.
A half a dozen nurses and doctors also responded.
Pushing a whole bunch of medications to basically restart his heart.
But at just 41, the husband and father of 3 was slipping away.
The only thing I remember is I started seeing the light and started walking towards the light.
While the ICU team tried to revive Brian, he claims he was walking along a heavenly path lined with flowers, then stopped by a familiar face.
She was the most beautiful thing when I seen her. It was like the first day I met her. And looked so happy.
His mother-in-law, Kay, who had just passed away.
She grabbed a hold of my arm and she told me, it's not your time. You don't need to be here. We need to take you back. You've got things to go home and do.
And after what felt like 15 minutes,
her husband, Jack, was back there waving at me, giving me a smile. And she was telling me to go home and walking me back.
But at the hospital, time was running out, or so everyone thought.
We shocked him 4 times. On the 4th time, it still didn't work, and then out of nowhere, he got his pulse back.
A normal heartbeat after nearly 45 minutes.
That's pretty awesome to see.
Even more incredible was Brian's condition.
So if you think about that, his brain had no oxygen for 45 minutes. So the fact that he is up, walking, talking, laughing, everything, I mean, that's amazing.
As is Brian's memory of the white light.
And I just totally broke down. And I went and sat down because I totally lost it when he told me that.
But Brian says there's no reason to feel sad. The experience has changed his entire outlook on life and death.
There is an afterlife, and people need to believe in it big time.
He says he's eternally grateful to the medical staff and his mother-in-law for this second chance.
I need to be here a lot more longer. I got 3 wonderful daughters and a wife.
And in the end, he says, that's all that really matters.
Love, very much love.
In Beechwood, Suzanne Stratford, Fox 8 News.
Wow.
Thank you. It's really about your love connection, deeply connected with each one of our ancestors. It's an inseparable relationship. Sharon Abbey, who on daily, one of the popular talk show, she testified her near-death experience. He was out of his heart stopped for 45 minutes. For her, her heart stopped for 90 minutes long. And she lived a very wonderful life, wonderful family. She went to wonderful school. She got a wonderful job. Suddenly she got a heart attack. Was young, such a young age. There she experienced this beautiful white realm. She felt like sort of lifted up like a light as a feather. She didn't really have any feeling of fear. Felt like all the burdens she ever experienced through the relationship, finance, all lifted away. She felt so free. She felt immense, incredible, unconditional love in this realm. At the same time, she says she was going back to memories. It wasn't like memories of feelings that she went through. Besides her own personal feeling, but also feeling of others. She felt like there's another soul attached to her. That she was experiencing this sort of other experience and other soul. And this tells her that all the relationship, all the challenging finance and relationship, and everything that this soul experienced, there is a way to heal it. And it's taught her how to heal, how to resolve all these issues. She came back. Somehow she came back. And she testified to everyone, just like everybody else who had experienced a life or near-death experience, says to everyone that I don't have any more fear of death. I don't live my life, although I did everything, all the decisions that I made based on fear. How people look at her, am I worthy? How is my performance? All this fear surrounding her are all gone because she don't have to afraid of anymore. What she's afraid of? Nothing. When you and I, when she was in the realm of unconditional love, in this realm. As a conclusion, I would like to really once again emphasize the importance of our ancestors. How deeply connected. We're interconnected with our ancestor with love. Difference between angel, which are great messenger, and our ancestor has a feeling. Our ancestor has a feeling, a heart for each one of descendants. They care about us. One more quick story is this. I was desperately looking for my van, my old van I have now, 2009 Sienna. My van, year 2000 van was just about falling out, ready to go to Spirit World. Losing its own, the van was about just let go of life. It was just about having a heart attack. Engine was just like acting out. They were barely holding those 4 tire wheels on the body. That whole year, Hunt helped me out to searching for a van, affordable. I have a couple, I have some money that I can buy a van, which needed desperately. I looked around 60 to 70 cars throughout the year, checked, and thoroughly checked, talked to the owner, but not enough. Somehow I could not find an ultimate van. I've been looking for it. This cash that I have, this is for the van. God, I visualized applying a law of attraction. Visualization. I chanting for it. Get a new car. Describing details. Toyota Sienna. Year around 2009 or 8 or even 7 is fine. And within this range, I have this much money. I need to get it by this day. I visualized, I chanting over, applying the law of attraction. My mind focused, visualized as precise as I could. I couldn't find it. And suddenly, I met with my dear friend George Kazagas, Pastor George from California. I met him at the conference. He approached me, took my hands to the wall. He took my hand like this to the wall, to outside a room where everybody had an event. He took me out of there, literally out of that conference, and he just looked me into my eyes. Shoulder. Have you, your wife have done, what your wife have done to you? Tell me, what did she What she have done to you? What are some of the wonderful things she did? Tell me, describe to me.
Who, me?
And I said, well, she did this, she did for me, she did this for me. She's been sacrificing all these things for me. She's been sacrificing everything for me. So he asked, one thing that she's been sacrificing so that you can do your work?
Well, she been taking care of me, cooking and, praying for me to get a car.
Well, he asked me this question. She did all this for you, that what one thing you can do for her? And I went back home. And I realized and found out that she always wanted to go to see her mother because she's worried. Her mother's getting aged, over 80 years old. She wanted to visit Japan. And what one thing I can do for her? Thank you to my ancestors that let me know. It's beyond my law of attraction, beyond the application law of attraction, beyond the visualization. My ancestors has heart to care beyond my own concern. My concern is a van. However, they let me know that that's not the only concern you have. Your wife has a major concern is that she wants to see her mother. And how much it cost? It cost, including her airfare tickets, and 2 of the children, Shohei and Aki, all together, it cost exactly what I have in my hand, $4,500. Thank you. Oh my God, all this time I've been looking for a van. Reason why I couldn't buy a van, because this money is not for the van. This money is actually for her to go to Japan. No visualization, it's beyond my visual, it's about the heart. Somebody actually knew all this time, and then tried to tell me always, but I never got it. Up until last moment, when Pastor George nailed me on the floor, to the wall, took me out of the meeting. I don't know why he did it. He just looked into my eyes without saying nothing. What are one things you can do for your wife? And I was like, I don't know. You better ask or you better find out. That was it. That was the only conversation I had with my best friend. That was it. That was one time out of 4 days. So, thank God. And anyway, I'd like to close with a prayer.
Brother Chris. Brother Chris, can you pray? Brother Chris. Yeah.
Join me in prayer, please. Dear loving Heavenly Parents, we're so grateful for the understanding that this world was created as a family, and that your true manifestation is in the form of a family, and that all those who've lived before us and brought us to where we are now are still with us, still longing to achieve more in their life in the spirit world, as well as help to accomplish great things here in this physical plane while we're still here. We're the ones that represent them, and we also have angels around us that want to help us and bring us closer to you. Many times we get bogged down in our situation and we try to solve it on our own and don't realize how much that you would like to communicate with us. And sometimes it takes communication through another person in order for us to get the message. We need to open our minds and our hearts. We're grateful in retrospect some of the hard times we go through before our thick head realizes the message you're trying to give us. It's taken a lot of love and struggle in that way to be able to take care of each one of us and to try to guide us along the way to where we need to be. As those who understand the truth and the reality better than most, we want to also reach and help others and keep our hearts and minds open for opportunities. Father, thank you so much for this message that we received today, and we really want to multiply it through our thoughts, our words, and our actions. I'm going to offer this whole service together as brothers and sisters, and I report this in the name of Christopher Murray Bush, Blessed Central family. I do.